Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
Now, remember, again, what I'm doing is I'm illustrating this particular strategy or these strategies using one option contract, but depending on your account size, you're going to be looking at maybe buying 5 or maybe buying 10. So to give you an example, if I bought 10 of these call option contracts on their own, as I illustrated in the last example, it's going to cost me $2,500. Well, that might be a little too rich for somebody with a moderate account size. So if you want to lower that risk exposure and the capital that's required to allocate, you could go in and you could implement this bull call spread strategy, in which case we're now looking to collect $1.38. And you can see here that at the end of the day, this particular strategy, this particular position is costing us $1.12 or $112 versus $2.50. So in other words, we would be able to, for the one call option contract that we would be looking to purchase based on that $2,500 capital allocation, we could now purchase 2 spread strategy combinations. So in other words, what we've done is we've almost we've cut our risk exposure in half from what it was originally. Now, anytime that we lower our risk exposure, we also lower our profit potential. And so that's one thing that we always have to keep in mind when we're looking at creating any sort of a spread strategy, is that in the original position, we were able to buy in at the 104 strike call option, and we were able to capitalize on a move as an unlimited move to the upside up until and as far as the expiration of that option contract. But when we create the spread strategy, we have to understand that we've capped our profit at the strike sold. So in other words, we can only profit between the 104 strike and the 107 strike that we've sold. Somebody else is going to profit over and above that level. And as you can see here, regardless of how high the pair value trades, we cannot make any more than $1.88 per contract after we consider the capital that we've had to put up for the trade. Now, that's certainly still a very attractive rate of return based on the capital that we've had to outlay. But at the end of the day, you have to understand, once again, that if we're looking to offset our cost and our risk exposure, we're going to be also setting back or limiting our profit potential. So this is what we would call a bull call spread. Now, we could do the same if we were looking at a put option play. Now, because we have a limited amount of time, I did not illustrate this strategy using puts, but at the end of the day, what we would be doing is, if we were bearish, we would buy a put in here, and we might conceivably say at the 103 level, and we might consider selling or buying a put down at the 100 level to create that spread. So we're just going to take the same rationale for the strategy, and we just simply reverse it, and we buy the higher strike put and sell the lower strike put to create the bear put spread. Now, if we wanted to take this one step further, if we wanted to get real fancy with this particular strategy and lower our cost basis even further, we can create what's referred to as a directional butterfly. Now, a directional butterfly is really just one debit spread and one credit spread put together. I'm going to talk about credit spreads in a little bit, but the idea is that we're going to buy one of these 104 September calls. Now, actually, I was looking at this strategy. Obviously, the prices had changed, so that call option was no longer worth $250; it was worth $257. But the implications still apply. The example is still relevant. The idea is that we're going to buy this one call option at 104. And just as we illustrated with the bull call spread, we're going to sell one September 107 strike call, but in order to capture some additional premium, we're going to sell an additional September 107. So you can see that we're buying one at the 104 and we're selling two at the 107. Now, when we sell that secondary call option, we create what's referred to as a naked position, which means we have an unlimited risk exposure on that naked call option. So in order to identify and establish a risk parameter for that naked call option, we're going to go out and we're going to buy that 110 strike call option, and we're going to give up a little bit of the premium we've collected in order to establish an identifiable risk exposure. Now, what you'll see here, based on our charts, is that our maximum profit for this trade is recognized on expiration when the pair value is trading exactly at 107, right? So we kind of have to be, it's very unrealistic, or there's a very low probability that it's going to be trading, that this particular pair value, the CDD, is going to be trading exactly at 107 on expiration. So you have to recognize that there is going to be a variation between your P&L on this position. But ultimately what happens within this strategy is that we're making money all the way up to this 107. Now what happens is we're generating an intrinsic value on our 104 strike call option. What's also happening as time's passing is the 107 strike calls are actually depreciating. So while we're generating intrinsic value on our long call position, all of the written call options are losing value because of the rate of time depreciation. So at the end of the day, what we're looking at is we're looking at ultimately the options expiring worthless at the 107 strike. And because we've lowered our cost basis so significantly, our profit potential for this trade is increased that much more attractively. So you can see that in this case we're putting up $67 per contract or per spread, but we are looking at maximizing a maximum profit potential on this strategy of $233 with the position trading at, or with the underlying security trading exactly at 107. So I included what we refer to as a risk graph on this particular chart just to sort of illustrate what happens. So if we're looking at, in this case, this being our 67, our break-even point at the $67 level here, what you can see here is as the pair value moves in our favor, we're heading towards our maximum profit at the 107 strike. But what happens is that we actually assume a risk on the credit spread, call credit spread that we've created. So as we start to breach that 107 level, the profitability of our trade is actually diminishes the greater we see the pair value exceed that 107 strike. So unlike that straight call option contract where our profitability was unlimited, and unlike the straight bull call spread strategy where our profit was just specifically limited and we couldn't make any more money, we in fact start to lose some money as it trades beyond our sold strikes. And so this is the trade-off. We've lowered our cost basis all the way down to 67, but we run the risk that if there's a huge move in the CDD over the lifetime of this position, that we can actually start losing some capital. But at the end of the day, our maximum risk exposure is always going to be the amount that we've paid for this particular directional butterfly. Okay, so at the end of it all, we have to understand that, once again, there's always going to be a trade-off. If we lower our risk exposure, we're going to lower our profitability.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.